Hello, welcome back. Always good to see you. In my last few videos, I've been trying to help everyone understand how the mass media is bombarding our brain with so much poppycock that very few of us have a chance to ever figure anything out. It's really tough. I mean, we've been bombarded on so many levels that most of us just really are not aware of. Take, for example, how closely controlled the plot lines are in TV shows. And in 1 week, you may have 90 TV shows that are all promoting a basic concept that they want us to understand. And it's done so subtly we really don't recognize it's happening, do we? And I illustrated this the other day when the Discovery Channel came out with a new series, Invisible Killers, and then at the same night we had The Big Bang Theory, and Bill Gates was on there. Classic example of how they're trying to bombard our brain all at the same time. So what mass media is able to do is basically define what is acceptable behavior. And if you can define what's acceptable behavior, then you can in turn shape or reshape behavior. And I've seen that in my lifetime. So if you guys are half my age, you have no idea how things have changed, but I've seen it. And fortunately, I've woken up and I see how it's being done all the time. I'm aware of certain agendas and I see how they're being played out through the media. And it all has to do with how many references we have. Again, this goes back to Satan's secret weapon I did a while back. The people who control us know that if they just keep telling us the same thing over and over, if they can control 90 TV shows, remember the mass media is owned by the same small group of people that owns every other major sector of human endeavor. The entertainment industry, these horrible women out there doing the things they do with themselves, it's all designed to bring down our culture. They can change our values. And it's so funny when you talk to someone and they actually think they have their own opinion on a subject matter and they have no idea that was molded in your brain your whole life. Your whole freaking life, man. Can you understand what I'm saying? Day after day after day, TV show after TV show after TV show, which is all going to be reinforced in our school system, so even if you don't watch TV, you can't escape it. But then when you go to school, it's reinforced. It's always going to be reinforced everywhere. That's what's so hard about this journey. Because our parents lie to us. But then it turns out everyone's parents is lying to everyone. So you go out, everyone's doing the same thing. You go to school, they're not doing anything different. Got to go to that cafeteria. God, I digress for a moment, because every time I think of that word cafeteria, I almost want to get sick. Because a friend of mine asked me to go to her little child's school to look at the cafeteria food. And it had been a long time since I'd been in the cafeteria. I'm trying to even think how long ago it was now, so it was a good 30, 40 years or so since I was in the cafeteria. But as soon as I walked in, I got so outraged because the smell was the same smell I remembered way back then. My God, what are they feeding us? So it's not just the food that we're being fed, it's the bullshit that we're being fed when we watch a sitcom movie. They can take a person and make it look like they're normal and they're clever and they're witty and they're edgy, they're cool. They can mold our mind that easily. Little kids watching somebody on TV, that's the cool character, I want to be like him. Well, what does that person do? Well, guess what? That's what you got to do to be that cool, edgy guy. God, it's frightening to think how easily we're molded. And again, I've done this many times. I've gone back and watched old TV shows that I watched growing up, and I'm going, yep, they were implanting those ideas way back then. They're doing it now on a level that we can't even comprehend, especially through the commercials. What happens as soon as a show comes off and the commercial comes on? What do you hear at least a dozen times? Ask your doctor, ask your doctor, ask your doctor. When you hear it that many times, it doesn't matter if it even makes sense. You're going to think that's it. So this is what's really interesting, is most of us have beliefs and values, and if you don't have any thought behind if there are really any good values or not, you just think they're acceptable because you see it, that's how it is. It's really tough to understand how brainwashing works when you have no idea about it. You could be extremely smart. You could be one of the best pattern simulators there are when it comes to connecting dots. But you can't connect what you ain't got. And that's our problem. We're lacking the knowledge. Most of us, I don't know if I want to say that anymore, more and more of us are waking up to realizing what's going on. How many people know about how the banking system works? You don't have to be very smart in math or business or accounting or economics or anything to understand how this scam works. If you just take a little bit of time and watch a couple documentaries like the Thrive documentary or Zeitgeist Addendum, and you realize, wow, we're debt slaves. What, we're not supposed to work a 40-hour week, 60-hour week, 2 jobs, 3 jobs? You mean a couple hours a week, that's it? That's all we're supposed to do? You bunta. That's what the Africans did before money was around. Hey, let's all cooperate. Let's all get together, work a couple hours a day, and we'll do 3 or 4 things. Make 10 times more than we need, and we'll share with everyone around us. Yoo-hoo! That's what we're supposed to be doing. This is such a upside-down world we're living in. The worst Twilight Zone ever. Seriously, man. I grew up watching Twilight Zones, and I know this is the worst. We're in it. But it doesn't have to be. And that's what keeps most people from realizing it is what it is. Because it's scary if you don't understand there's a solution. Because then you'd feel helpless, wouldn't you? That's probably the worst emotion you could have, helplessness. That's why most people fear this knowledge. Because they don't know there's a solution that goes with it. So, my whole YouTube channel is to help you guys understand there's a simple solution to get us out of the big mess we're in. You think, well, how can we defeat the media, and how do we defeat the government, and how do we defeat the psychopaths that rule the world? You have to realize there's only one way to defeat that aspect of us, and that's for all of us to change. That's why I tell you guys over and over and over, we all play a role. If you haven't done this yet, what are you waiting for? I'm telling you, I just did one not too long ago. It's been a couple years since I did it. When I did it, I thought, golly, I've done this over 1,200 days. In 26 years, you'd think by now I'd understand how exciting it is. And yet I still have to do it to be reminded, yep, it's better. I love eating. But when you don't eat and you don't waste any energy, now think about this. The average person, they're over here watching me. Everywhere you go, no matter, even if they're a raw foodist. Well, I'm not going to say that for raw foodists. Most people, they're pretty much every minute of their day, they're expending a lot of energy processing the food they've been eating. I haven't eaten 3 days, I'm not processing any food. Oh yeah, you are. You probably still have a few things to go at least. But that's what people don't understand if they've never done this before. That's why it's the most exciting thing you could ever do. And yes, I know eating is fun. That's why if you've never done this, you got to see what it's like. And then once you've done it, you got to realize it's something you got to keep doing. And part of the reason is to keep motivating you to realize it is more fun than eating. And it really does help you on so many levels. And I try to help a lot of my friends who are going through a lot of different issues, and I try to help them understand that this would be the best thing you could do for yourself. No matter what you want to do in life, you want to quit smoking cigarettes, you want to get a new job, you want anything in your life. You want to make things happen in your life. All you got to do is test an idea, take a solid food vacation, and it's so much fun. And again, most people can't comprehend that because every minute of their day, ever since they could be so tall, probably as soon as they came out of the womb, sucking on that tit if they were lucky enough, they started expending energy digesting food. But the big problem we have is we put food in all day long, so the whole system, all 3 processes are running all the time. You go to sleep, you still got a lot of stuff to do. Remember, most people have about 12 to 15 meals that are backed up in their system. Meat takes about 3 days to go through the system. So you could eat a hamburger on Monday, not eat all day Tuesday, and you're still expending energy dealing with that hamburger. And this is what people don't understand. You're so excited about that yum, 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 and you don't realize how much more yum it is by not wasting that energy and having it to do everything else. God, it's such an exciting experience. It's no surprise why pretty much everyone that has fasted sure tells you about it, I guess. How would you know if they fasted and they didn't tell you, right? Well, a lot of famous people have done it, haven't they? Jesus, Moses, Muhammad, Gandhi. The list goes on and on and on and on. John Rose. What's wrong with this guy? Why is he so passionate? I've done it. I know what it's like. Better yet, I documented it. I had a chance to really check it out. And then I've had the pleasure to share this message with as many people as I can, because I can't think of anything else better to do than to help people realize that we're being bombarded from every area that we are, and even though taking a solid food vacation may sound stressful, like, oh my God, I gotta wake up earlier to get all that done, you're gonna free so much more time up by not eating, preparing food, and not having to sleep as much, and then being more productive in everything you do. It's just, and I hear that all the time. People say, this is my most stressful year ever. And if I wasn't waking up that extra hour a day earlier than I normally do to prepare my juices for the day, I could have never have made it. It made the day work. I'm telling you, my friends, we gotta understand everything coming into us, or the garbage from the world we live in mentally, and the garbage that gets into our mouths and our lungs. The context we live in, my friends, is going to mean everything to us. The quality of it's going to determine the quality of us, provided we know how to interact with it the right way. And unfortunately, I didn't start my journey off in life knowing how to do that. First 36 years of my life, I got robbed. Fortunately for me, I'll be 64 pretty soon, a couple months. And I was reflecting back on this just the other day, thinking, if I was to put myself in some sort of timeline with a bunch of cookies, I would say I'm 24. Seriously. Where are you at in life, John? Where's your career at? Where's everything else at? What do you see in your future? Well, if I had to look at my future based on what you guys have to look for, I'm 24. I probably feel 1,000 times better at 64 than 99% of you that are 24. And why am I telling you that? Because most of y'all don't know what you're missing. And I know how hard it is to even entertain the idea to do what I do on a permanent basis. But what I'm suggesting is only on a temporary basis. Come on, you can do it, man. The decision is the hardest part. That first step on this journey is the hardest part. But I can guarantee you, if you test an idea as time has come, if you take a solid food vacation, it's going to change your life. I guarantee you're going to like it. And if you don't believe me, look at the comments down below. And you're going to find some people are going to struggle. And I explained that in my videos. We're damaged. The environment's damaged. It's not as easy to do what we need to do as it used to be. Long ago, no problem. Just stop eating. Give me some water. I'm finished. Give me some fruit. They didn't have any chemicals back in those days. Nowadays, that's changed everything. And what are chemicals in relationship to everything I talk about? It's the fifth thing we mastered. And when we take those chemicals and apply it to something we need, it becomes, do you know what it does? It becomes black magic. By definition. Black magic is when you take something and use it to hurt people. So the chemicals are hurting us. Cooking is also magic, isn't it? Look, it's magic. Plato understood it. Whatever disease man seems to produce a magical enchantment. That's how magical cooking is. It is black magic. And so are chemicals. So the poisons they inject in us. For by sorceries will all nations be deceived. Sorceries, magicians, pharmakeia, drugs. This is how we're being deceived. Fooled and tricked. wow, I just couldn't help but notice how peaceful it is right now with that bird chirping and the cricket over here chirping too. Gotta admit, I got distracted. Where I'm filming at right now, I really should grab the camera and just give you a better panoramic view of this before I say goodbye to you. Because this is what I try to do every day. My spiritual practice every day of my life is to be in awe as much of the day as I can be. And there's only one way I can really do that as well. That's when I come out here and I look at the beauty that nature has to offer. And I'm going to grab that camera. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at here. Just absolutely gorgeous. I will grab it in a second. I promise. But that's what I do every day. I come out to nature, and I become in awe. And that's easy to do, because how can you not become in awe when you look at this amazing planet we live on? And it truly saddens me to realize that we're not even coming close to being the guardians that we should be on this planet, and thinking how much better it could be if we were playing our role. So I guarantee you, my friends, find the courage to do this. I'm going to sign off here in a second. But I'm telling you, if you haven't done it yet, the first step is always the hardest. People ask me, when should you do it? When should I do it? When you're ready to take the first step, that's the time to do it. And there's a reason for that. We don't know what we're missing. No one's going to think it's a fair trade. You're going to always struggle with everybody if they've never done this. They can't understand it. They got to have a brand new reference, and tell them when they have a brand new reference, they're in for a treat. And now I'm going to go grab that camera so you guys can have a treat as I sign off. So I'm going to grab my camera and see if I can flip this thing around, and I'll give you an idea of where I'm at. Let me go ahead and zoom out just a little bit. I wasn't zoomed in that much. All right, this is where I have the camera set up, but I'm a little bit higher now because my bike is down there. Okay, can y'all see that? Now let's take a little zoom in on this. Unfortunately, excuse me. It's too dark over here. Let me see if I can't zoom into some beautiful flowers here. See, this is more like it here. Now you see the sun shining on them, and this is how thick it is, just all across. So as I zoom out, you can imagine that's how thick it is all the way around. It's solid. I should be able to zoom in almost anywhere and almost do the same thing, I would think, if this camera is good enough to be that clear that far. And now I'll swing back around to show you where the bayou's at in retrospect. So again, I can just look over here, for example. And how can you not be in awe looking at a tree like that? So this is my spiritual practice every day. And again, these little yellow flowers, pretty much in the middle of a sea of yellow flowers. That's what Van Gogh said. That's why he loved yellow so much. And this is where my bike was set up, and I was standing right in front of those guys right there. Alrighty. Give you a little better idea. Now, a lot of times, just for those who might be curious, if the light isn't too bad, sometimes I'll be right up there on top of that hill, just on this side. And actually, I was trying to look the other way, sorry guys. I'd be more like over on this side of the hill. But it'd be on top of this hill. There's a hill that I'm on the back of. I'm on the bottom of down here. And you can see if I'm looking up. Hope this isn't too boring for you guys. Hey. But if it's cold weather where you're at and you don't see any beautiful flowers, it sure is nice to bring some nature into our lives. I wonder if I can find that cricket. I'm not gonna... Okay, guys. I want to thank you guys once again for watching, all the great comments, and keep doing what you're doing.
I love y'all. Bye-bye.